Having claimed Super Pole, Billy Bolt was looking to do the business again in the first race. And he got a great start to take the whole shot in the opener. Toby Martin with the big crash at the start, eventually recovering. Brightmore, that's Mitch, and Ash either side of Johnny Walker in the opening stages, but Ash Brightmore was in a very determined mood, eventually getting past Johnny Walker into the matrix. What a battle these two would have in this opening race. Billy Bolt, though, having had not the greatest of Super Pole laps to start with, recovered superbly in the latter part of the Super Pole, and maybe that just focused him a little bit more. Eddie Carlson was taking the fight to Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker back in fourth place. This was the battle for fourth, but Billy Bolt would take the win ahead of the Brightmore brothers. So then into the reverse grid race. And a bit of a surprise for the whole shot, but Billy Bolt was up in the mix early on as they went into the rock garden. Mundell continued to lead on the early stages. Johnny Walker just ahead of Diogo Vieira, and then Ash Brightmore making it past Billy Bolt. But Billy Bolt, in front of his home fans, knew that if he could take the win and the World Championship would be his. He managed to squeeze his way past Ash Brightmore and then was hunting down Johnny Walker. And then this moment, was that the moment that kept Johnny Walker's title hopes alive? No, down went Johnny Walker, bent the bar as well, had to bash it back into shape. And then they were battling away again. Billy Bolt, though, with a Bolt move on Walker, over the wall. Bolt was on his way, the fans were on their feet. Aljavi and Mitch Brightmore battling away. Aljavi coming out on top on this occasion. Billy Bolt through the rock garden. The home fans were getting excited. So too was Billy on occasions. But again, recovery is part of his. And he eventually went on to secure a fifth consecutive SuperEnduro World Championship crown. With that in the bag, he wanted to make sure he gave the fans exactly what they wanted, and this was possibly the best race of the year. Johnny Walker led from Billy Bolt. The Brightmores were right on their tail, so too Aljavi and Carlson. Cooper Abbott had also got away well. Bolt got into the lead, and then Mitch Brightmore threatening to take second from Johnny Walker. And it would end up being fantastic. Johnny Walker, with that moment, allowed Billy Bolt, it seemed, to come through. Walker got the triumph flight up again. Mitch Brightmore was in second place. Ashton Brightmore was also involved. The four of them battling away at the front. Johnny Walker had the lead. Ash Brightmore then going through on his brother Mitch. It was the most incredible of races. Traffic getting in the way as well. Billy Bolt using his experience to make his way through. Bolt led from Walker. The Brightmore still battling away. The drama wasn't over as Bolt then had that moment. Sparks flying on top of the pipes. This moment as well, that allowed Ash Brightmore and Mitch Brightmore to get involved as well. Billy Bolt back in fourth place at this moment. Mitch Brightmore going off the track. And you're just trying to think, maybe, just maybe, we will get a different race winner. Johnny Walker emerging out in front. Then Ashton Brightmore after this really took the fight. Elsewhere, there was plenty of action going on. Carlson and Aljavi, they were having their own private affair as well. Meanwhile, all eyes were on the guys out in front. Ash Brightmore leading, and then Bolt passing Walker. Could Ash Brightmore keep Billy Bolt behind him into the rock garden where Bolt is so good? And again, Brightmore standing up to Bolt, it seemed, but then eventually the world champion went through and made it maximum points on the night. Oh, what a race that was. It will live long, long, long in the memory. Milan Schmuser on bike 5 arrived in Newcastle in the junior class, trailing Marc Fernandez by 26 points. He knew if he was going to take the fight all the way to the final round that he would have to score big this evening, and he got off to a great start in the first race, leading from the start. He was away well. Fernandez's teammate Roland Lischka was going well. Schmuser recovering from the odd mistake, still leading. Fernandez was struggling a little bit further back, battling away with Toby Shaw. But eventually he would pass the British rider to make it through into third place behind his TTR Squadra Corsa teammate Roland Lischka. Lischka still chasing down Milan Schmuser. Schmuser had Lischka for company for a long time in this race, and then as they came in to the final turn, on the final lap, down went Schmuser. Lischka tried to ride over him, and all the while Fernandez gained ground, and then Lischka trying to get through. Down he went as well. Fernandez recovered superbly. Schmuser still on the floor, eventually picked himself back up, but the damage was done. Fernandez, the championship leader, extending his lead at the top of the standings. The reverse grid, Schmuser looking to make up for the disappointment of race 1. Fernandez getting the whole shot, and it looked like it was going to be his race again. Schmuser, though, was fighting his way through. Shaw and Popovici battling as well. Schmuser eventually gaining ground on Fernandez. A great block pass into the matrix, and Schmuser now leading out in front. Popovici and a few of the Strauss was down as well. And then Schmuser eventually, and Fernandez battling away, but it looked like Schmuser had it. However, there was plenty of drama still to come. This was Popovici in the rock garden, getting passed by Lischka, and then this moment for Milan Schmuser. Watch this front wheel, bang into the log, down he went, and Fernandez down, and then Schmuser still struggling, but Fernandez eventually recovering to make it 2 wins out of 2 in the junior class on the night, and again that points lead extends. Schmuser, disappointment in the first 2 races. Could he put that behind him in the third and final race? A great start from Schmuser, exactly what he wanted. Fernandez some distance back as they went into the rock garden. He was in 6th place, eventually emerging in 4th as they went into the matrix. Lischka and Strauss battling away ahead of Fernandez. While they were scrapping for 2nd place, Schmuser was pulling away out in front again. Strauss looking to get another strong position, but Milan Schmuser into the rock garden, and then this moment, down he went, and that allowed Strauss to go through, take the lead. So Henry Strauss taking the win, but more big points for Fernandez. The name Lamkin is legendary in motorsport, and that legend was to be emboldened even further here in Newcastle this evening. Fraser Lamkin, 2nd in the championship before tonight. Behind that man, number 11, Ramon Godino, the Spanish rider. And Godino was not having things his own way in the first race. Plenty of action further on down in the order. Connor Watson would find himself on the deck quite often, and it was getting a little bit tight in that rock garden. Lischka coming off the TM, Godino also making his way through that out front. While they were all scrapping further away, Fraser Lamkin was really riding a superb race. And there was no surprise when he took the honours in the first youth race of the night, his second win of the campaign. Into the second race, and again another great start by Fraser Lamkin, taking the whole shot ahead of Blake and Godino. More fun and games further back down the order, but Fraser Lamkin put in a really polished performance. He came in trailing points-wise to Godino. He would end up still trailing going into the final round in France, but he certainly bit into Godino's points lead at the top of the youth standings. Godino finding himself in trouble. Lashka managing to make his way through. But Fraser Lamkin showing maturity to pick a route through the rock garden when there wasn't much to choose from, and eventually making his way through. It was certainly the best round of Fraser Lamkin's ride. Lashka and Vukcevic battling away for second place. Lashka making it through eventually. And he recovered well, Lashka, to get out of the rock garden. But Fraser Lamkin, the double on the night, overall victory in the youth class, and he takes the fight to France in the final round. Two races in the expert class, an all-British affair on British soil. Jack Price on the Sherco getting the best start, taking the whole shot. And it was to be a stunning masterclass from Jack Price all the way. Paul Bolton making a return to SuperEnduro at this moment. However, he recovered strongly and would go on to take a top 3 finish. Alfie Royal on bike 33 into the matrix. Paul Bolton, having made that mistake, then looking to make up, going past Royal. Royal going down in the rock garden. But it was Jack Price who took the win. Max Ingham was in second position with Paul Bolton in third. On to the second race. And again, Price just squeezing the whole shot. One or two just having a moment into the first turn, but Jack Price first into the rock garden. Jack Spencer on bike 27 had a much better result this time, or much better ride, I should say. But then that little moment for Charlie Frost just cost him the lead. It was getting a bit tight at times. Paul Bolton managing to make his way through, out of the pipes and over the wall. Again, Alfie Royal just on his inside. It was close fighting all the way through the expert class, with one or two mishaps here and there. Paul Bolton eventually making his way up through the order, passing Charlie Frost this time. But Jack Price continued to lead. Bolton nice and neat, precise through the rock garden. What a big moment for Alfie Royal, landing on top of the logs. And a big moment for Jack Price as he made it 2 wins to take the overall on the night.